What is going on, everyone? My name is QB, also known as Damien. How's everyone doing today? With the playoffs starting in literally an hour after this video releases, I want to talk about the first round matchups and my predictions and thoughts. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see some more NBA content. And as always, if you've got any ideas or anything you want me to make a video on, just leave down below and I'll get that sorted for you. Without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Let's start off in the Eastern Conference with the 1v8 matchup. Obviously that being the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Miami Heat. Now this might be a lot more interesting what people expect it to be. Miami, they have to play two playing games after a poor effort in the first playing game, but they got the job done against Chicago. And they fight their way into the NBA playoffs for this year. These teams have met quite a bit in the playoffs of recent years. Obviously back in 2020, the bubble, the Heat swept the Bucks in the first round. Then the Bucks have taken the last two. Me personally, it's going to be a battle of the big men for the Bucks. In my personal opinion, Giannis and Brook Lopez are going to be way too much. This Miami team's big men are just simply not that strong. Don't get me wrong, Bam Adebayo is a really underrated player in this league, and I rate him really highly. But personally, I just can't see him stopping Giannis and Brook Lopez. Continue with the same 9-man rotation they did in the both playing games. They're literally their biggest backup center, or I guess center you can call it, is Kevin Love. And I'm not sure what they're going to try playing to make that work. Literally had Max Strus at the power forward. Don't get me wrong, man can shoot the 3-pointer, but he's a liability on the defensive end. So me personally, that's just enough to say that the Bucks are going to take care in 5 games. This is going to be light work for this Bucks team. They're the best team in the league for a reason. And let's move on to the next matchup, the 2v7. That'll be the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks have been a very mid team this year. You think they'll have high expectations after making the trade from Murray during the offseason. They hover around nearly the exact same record as last year. They're going to stick into a 7th seed though, after beating Miami Heat in that first playing game. And they showed in that playing game, if they play team ball, they can take a W on any night. But personally, that's going to work not in their favour at all. Because there's going to be some nights where your teammates are just not feeling it as much as you are. You can't rely on that. Yeah, it's great, NBA is a team sport, basketball is a team sport. But if your game plan is to rely on 4 or 5 players score 15 plus every night, then yikes. That might sound like hella wrong, but it's just the way I feel about this. I see the Hawks maybe taking a few games this one due to the fact that their big men are actually pretty solid in John Collins and Clint Capella, who has massive playoff experience with the Houston Rockets. I actually do reckon the Hawks are going to take 2 games in this series, but it just means the Boston Celtics are going to win it in 6. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are just too much for these guys. And Celtics bench is absolute clear as the Hawks bench. So that's my prediction for that game, Boston in 6. And we have a very interesting one. Let's look at the 3v6 matchup. That's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers versus the new look Brooklyn Nets. Surprise. I am very surprised. A big hands down to this Brooklyn Nets team that's actually holding in for a playoff spot. They managed to stay above 500 after the Brooklyn Nets GM traded away KD and Kyrie Irving. All the young guys coming in and just gelling really well together. You love to see it. And they're playing for absolutely nothing. They got nothing to lose. They got no expectations whatsoever. So they're going to go out and just completely ball out of their mind. But unfortunately, they did not match up really well against this Philadelphia 76ers team at all. Brooklyn doesn't really have that main star power except for Mikal Bridges. That'll be way too much pressure for Bridges to take on the first round, as if he's previously had playoff experience with the Phoenix Suns, where he's been most likely the 4th or 5th option. But it's going to be good to see how he can cope under pressure, because that kid is a star in the making. We have to see how things go, but the Philadelphia 76ers are just way too stacked in my opinion. They're going for a championship this year. James Harden, arguably, in my opinion, he's been the best point guard all season, underrated as fuck. He reads Joel Embiid so nicely, gets him in good position, sets him up beautifully for those post-fade moves. But as I said, the Sixers just too strong. I'm taking them in 5. I do think that Brooklyn's going to steal 1 game at home. Last but most certainly, definitely not least, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. This is going to be a banger of a series. They both match up really well all over the floor, and the benches are really equal. This series, ladies and gentlemen, this series is going to go to 7 games. I'm going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers only because Donovan Mitchell has some unfinished business in the playoffs. He's came into that Cavaliers team this season and just fitted in absolutely perfectly. And their young core is just absolutely ridiculous. You can't cut out the Knicks though, who knows what they can pull off in this playoffs. I really liking Jalen Brunson as a player this year and as a floor facilitator. I just can't go past Cleveland Cavaliers, so I'm taking them in 7. Now it's time to move over to the Western Conference. We'll start with the 1v8 matchup. That's going to be the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who just snuck their way in today, or should I say yesterday, after beating the OKC Thunder in the elimination game in the play-in tournament. This series is very, very interesting and probably the most underrated series so far. Jokic's defense is really going to get exposed in this first round. You're going to see Karl Anthony Towns just absolutely feast on him all series long. But having said that, this Nuggets team is just too deep. They're the best team in the West for a reason. Jokic doing his thing, doing his back-to-back MVP type shit. Just being a great ball handler as he is as a big man and finding his teammates. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to his defense. But as I said, the Nuggets are just a better team than the Timberwolves. I have them in 6 games. And now one of the most hyped series we have so far, the 2v7. It's going to be the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Los Angeles Lakers, who fought their way in from the play-in tournament. The Lakers had a hard start to the season. They started 2-10, it would just only look like to get worse from there. They stormed their way up from 13th to clinch a play-in spot. Obviously, you can't forget about the Memphis Grizzlies. I can't see anyone on the Lakers that can physically guard Ja Morant for the whole series and keep him under what he's capable of doing. He's surrounded by good floor facilitators as well and good catch and shoot shooters like Desmond Bain and Dylan Brooks. They're missing 2 big players on Steven Adams and Brandon Clark. Everyone's just ignoring the fact that those are 2 massive pieces going out of the Grizzlies lineup. Anthony Davis is literally going to beast and feast in that paint all series long, especially knowing how foul prone Jaren Jackson Jr. is. This is going to be a great series, probably one of the best series in the whole playoffs. If not, it might be the next one I'm about to talk about. This isn't some bias shit. I got my Lakers in 7 games. I just really do think the Lakers are much deeper. And it just depends on the lineups as well, but this series is going to 7 games, and I do got the Lakers taking it. Because the Grizzlies are just pretty much screwed if Jaren Jackson Jr. gets in foul trouble. Let me know what you think on my take on that series down below. I definitely would like to hear what you guys think. And now we got the 3v6 matchup, the Sacramento Kings making the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. What a great season they had, and what a great job Mike Brown has done with his team. To bring him from the bottom into a playoff spot, the 3rd seed. Are you serious? But I know it's a great story for the Sacramento Kings. But it's just tough. They're going to run into a bunch of players that have won 4 championships together. Unfortunately, they're running to the Golden State Warriors in the first round, who managed to have finished in that beautiful 6th seed position. So this has been a really fun series. Sacramento is absolutely going to be rocking. But I do think the Golden State Warriors are going to run them off their feet. I just can't see anyone that can physically shut down Clay, Steph Curry obviously, and Jordan Poole. And you most definitely cannot forget about Andrew Wiggins. He'll be back for game 1 as well. I got the reigning champs in 6 games. But that's definitely going to be a very, very good series. And last and most certainly, definitely not least, we have the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers. Kevin Durant versus Russell Westbrook in the first round of the playoffs. Are you serious? This is going to be a great series. This is going to be neck and neck. If, and that was a big if Paul George was in the line for his first few games, which he is not going to be, and I see the Suns taking full advantage of this. But I'm not quite sold on the Suns yet, because they have a great team, but their bench just underperforms every single game. And that's why you'll see their starters playing 40 minutes every single night. For the Clippers, they are very deep. They have guys like Eric Gordon, Bones Highland, Terrence Mann, Mason Plumlee coming off the bench. Those are all very good quality players coming off their bench. It's just too tough to go past Kevin Durant, CP3 and Devin Booker. Can't get out DeAndre Ayton as well. It's going to be a hell of a series. I do not know when Paul George is going to get back. I'm just going to assume he comes back for game 3. And I'm taking this series to 6 games. I just feel like the Suns are going to get the early jump on the Clippers. I got them winning in 6 games. But yeah, those are my players' predictions and thoughts. Wasn't going too much into depth. If I would have had much more time to do it, I would have. It's just been hectic lately. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the love and support like always. Please let me know what you think down below. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.